You are listening to the East Texas Banner right here in Burkeville this morning. We're sitting down with athletic director and head coach of the Burkeville Mustangs, Mr. Michael Bethea. Michael, I really appreciate you taking time to sit down and chat with me about what's going on in the Mustang world.
We're glad to have you here.
Absolutely, man. Well, let's kind of dig into it, man. So first of all, you guys, it's kind of been a little bit of a struggle this year. But last game, you guys really showed some offensive prowess. I mean, you kind of stepped up, but still took an L. But I mean, golly, when's the last time you heard of a game combined score over 100 points? You know, I mean.
Well, that's what the six-man game can do. It can score a lot of points. You know, we've played a pretty tough schedule. Mm-hmm. Every team we've played so far has been one of the top-ranked teams, whether it's private school, public school, and they're tradition-rich. The first two games, we didn't have all our players. We had some injuries. And so we got beat. We scored a couple touchdowns, but if you looked on film, we were moving the ball. We just couldn't get in the end zone.
Gotcha.
And then when we get to our third game, Beaumont Legacy, and we put up 50 points, we were actually up 18-6. We had 3 or 4 guys that were finally able to play and come out and help us, and whether it's injury or different scenarios. And so we jump out on them, and then we had some miscues. And that's one thing we're trying to teach is limit our consecutive mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. That's just going to happen. But if we can just limit them in consecutive. Got behind there in the third, and we fought back in the fourth and lost 60-50. But, you know, we saw major improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we continue to see improvement.
So who do you guys have this week?
This week, Friday night, we have Richland Springs. They are ranked number 5 in 1A Division II.
Okay.
They are a tradition-rich program out in West Texas. They have 9 state championships. That's the second most, which are tied with like 3 other schools. But they're second most state championships in the state of Texas. So they're tradition-rich. You get somebody that's going to drive 6 hours to come play you on their field. We'll take the challenge, and I think we'll put a good showing up against them.
Very cool, very cool. So, how did you get in the coaching thing, man? What's a little bit of your background?
Well, my dad was a coach.
Okay.
So he taught and coached for 33 years.
So you was born on a football field?
I was born on a football field. I was raised in a field house.
Okay.
Run around the school every summer, and then when they had practice, and so that's where it came from. I was a late starter, and so. I've actually I've been in the school system over 20 years because I was a paraprofessional for 10, and then I've been teaching for 10. Okay. And so it's always what I wanted to do. And so, you know, like I said, I was a late starter, but I wanted to achieve my dreams. Right. And I also wanted to be a role model for people too, that, you know, it's never too late to achieve your dreams, no matter what age. That's right. So I got my bachelor's degree at 40. In December, I'll have my master's.
There you go, man.
And so it's
hard work pays off.
It does. Hard work does pay off.
Well, let me ask you something. So, with your current group of boys, what are some of the benefit, or what are some of the highlights of what you're seeing with this group?
Well, one thing's for sure, we don't have no seniors.
Okay.
So we got a strong junior class. Okay. We got a pretty good sophomore class, and then we got a good freshman class. So we're still young. Yeah. This team has the sky's the limit for them. Right. Good athletes. One thing we're seeing is this is their second year, Burkeville's second year being in 6-man. Okay. So it's still an adjustment, but I think you're starting to see that adjustment take positive dividends. And so I think every week we practice and we play. We're going to get better in the 6-man game, and you know, putting up 50 points the other day, 60-50. I think that was a example of us, as you know, in 6-man finally starting to turn that corner. Yeah. You know, and we're playing tough teams, including this week. Right. Now after this week, you know, we get to start playing teams more of our level. Right. And so I think you'll see a big turn the next couple of weeks.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So, what's for people who don't know out here? What's the biggest difference between traditional football and 6-man?
Okay, well, you know, in 11-man, your field's 100 yards long, 50 yards wide. In 6-man, it's 80, long and 40 wide.
Okay.
So our hash marks are in closer, so which is not a bad thing.
Right.
And so to get a first down, you got to go 15 yards.
Okay.
So we have the longest chain in the area. It amazes me when I see that chain. I'm going, that sure does seem so far.
Yeah.
But you got that, and then if you want to run the ball, you have to get the ball pitched to you. So we have what we call a spread back. Our quarterback will take it, pitch it to the spread back, and then they can run or pass.
Okay.
Now our quarterback can roll out and pass, or take shotgun and pass it, but they cannot run. Well, when I say run, they can't run past the line of scrimmage.
Gotcha.
They can scramble, do all that, but they can't run. So that's a big difference.
Okay.
And so we have, the one thing about us, we got 4 guys that can get that spread back and they can run or pass. And that's what we like to do. We like to have that run pass option.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing in 6-man. The other deal is too, when you talk about extra points, extra point is 2 points.
Okay.
Whereas in 11-man, it's 1 point.
Okay.
And if you don't kick it and you go for it, in 11-man it's called a 2-point conversion. Here it's 1 point.
Okay.
So it's really important to get if you can get a field goal kick or extra point, that's important because you want to get that 8 points off a touchdown in that.
Right.
You take legacy. We scored 8 touchdowns, and we only scored 2 of a possible 16 points in the extra point. So, I mean, we just make those, we win the ball game. So,
no doubt.
And so that's what we had talked about was, you talk about 3 facets of the game: offense, defense, special teams.
Right.
Special teams in that game, wasn't very great because we left 14 points on the board.
Right.
We gave up 2 long touchdowns. We correct some of those things. We win the ball game.
Sure, absolutely. Just fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
Work out those fundamentals and you're good to go.
And the other deal is all 6 people can go out for a pass.
Ah, nice.
So you got to have 3 people on the line when you snap the ball, but you can block and then run. There's no lineman downfield.
Okay.
You can actually cut block a little more than you can 11-man now, and so
very cool. Very cool. Is there anything you want to put out here to the public? Anything that you want to talk about?
Well, I tell you what, it'd be great just to if you've never seen a 6-man game, come out and watch.
Yeah.
It's like a fast break on a football field.
Okay.
It's a lot of running and gunning. You'll see a lot of long touchdowns.
Yeah.
If you get a team that runs the ball, I mean, you may get a long drive, but it's a fast-paced, exciting game.
Nice.
We do have the 45-point mercy rule, so if you're losing by 45 at half, the game stops.
Okay.
So we're trying to avoid those, but we're trying to. Hopefully, we're going to put a mercy rule on some people.
There you go.
But it's a fun time just to watch. If you like explosive football, you see guys that will break 2 or 3 tackles and they're gone. Yeah. And that's all it takes. You just break a couple of tackles, you're gone. Whereas an 11-man, you still got other guys coming. So
it's a little slower.
Slower pace, but the pace here is fast. And if you just want to see a good, fast-paced game, come out and watch. It's pretty neat.
Ladies and gentlemen, right there, coach and athletic director right here in Burkeville, Mr. Michael Bethea. Man, I really appreciate you sitting down with us. Hopefully we can get some of the word out about what you guys are doing up here and be a better resource to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely. Thank you.